This Scarmalione, he knew the gate had opened.
And not for the first time. He and his brethren must keep watch over the portal.
As we do ours, but to unflinchingly consume a fellow voidsent. Like men, perhaps they form factions and fight amongst themselves.
The question is, what will the minions do?
Your mistress is no more, and the one who consumed her we slew in turn. Do you still mean to try us?
I expect some voidsent are more intelligent than others. Perhaps these ones simply do not understand our words.
Even beasts ought to understand strength.
There is much we do not know about voidsent. If we are to survive their world, it would be wise to learn their ways.
Let's proceed with caution and pick up what we can.
Sage advice, my friend. 'Tis reassuring to have one so experienced with us. I am here, sister. Finally here. And I will find you. I swear it.
Buried memory. It seems the minions are keeping that distance for now. Let's carry on. I never dreamed I would come this far. Can't thank you all enough for your cooperation. This castle should serve as a base of operations for now. Ere we set our sights elsewhere, let's see what there is to learn here. From this point onward, you will not encounter airtherites for a while. Should you leave Toya Castle, you may return here via Weaver's Warding. Additionally, you may enter the Fell Court of Toya with an NPC party as a trust. It seems the minions are content to gawp for now. Let's carry on. Wherever we turn, there's darkness as far as I can perceive. The only source of light here is ourselves. The opposite was true in the first. The warding skill exhibits no change. It should be safe to remain here and begin our search. But with an now, I would sense a Steyr were she remotely near, but there is nothing. Might you not call to her? Let her know that you have come. Alas, this vessel is not capable of calling across vast distances. For that I require my true form. And even were it possible, a dragon's call is born upon Aether. It is liable to draw more voidsent to us. Let's see. In any case, there's little exploration to be done while we are confined to this isolated isle. I propose we begin by learning what we can from the castle's occupants. An understanding of our way may prove useful to our cause. Very well, let's hope a few of them are capable of speech. Let all remain vigilant while we go about our increase. We reconvene afterwards. This one does not but stare. The creature snarls and glares at you. It's unlikely that you learn anything from it. Some seem willing enough to converse. Whether they have the ability to do so is another matter. What enticing air you have! Give me some! Give me some! No. If I were stronger, I'd be able to eat you. Fine. I'll find someone else to eat. While able to communicate, this one seems to think only of feeding. Better to take your increase elsewhere. Like the prevailing tongue of the Northrend, the language of this world bears a resemblance to our own. Maybe assumed that they share a common ancestry. The mistress's eyes are beauteous, sublime. To bask in her gaze is bliss. But now she's gone. Never again will I feel her gaze. No mistress, no orders. What am I to do now? What am I to do now? The creature mutters endlessly to itself, not sparing you so much as a glance. I serve. I obey. Please, don't eat me. A dragon? What's that? Does it taste good? I don't know anything about it. Don't know about anything. But the one we caught recently, they seem to know lots. We threw them in the dungeon, but clever ones are tasty. They might have been eaten already. You've learned all you can from this voidsent. If you look in the dungeon, you may be able to find the clever one it mentioned. I have nothing to share, but those I approached had no will to fight, neither were capable of holding a conversation with the name. My experience was much the same. Lower rung voidsent tend to have lower intelligence, it would seem. A pity Scarmignon is dead. He was talkative at least. What of you? One of them mentioned a clever one in the dungeon? A clever voidsent in the dungeon. That would be the area in which we emerged. Indeed. Let's take ourselves back there and find this voidsent, preferably before its fellows make a meal of it. To the dungeon then. Jailer? No one comes and goes from this dungeon without permission. For you though, I'll make an exception. Go on, go. Because you couldn't stop me. Food for our mistress's consumption is being kept in these cells. With our mistress devoured, we are free to help ourselves. The clever one is strong. Another warden went in to devour the clever one, but he hasn't come back out. Could this be the clever voidsent? There appears to be someone within. I mislike the feel of this. Stay on your guard.
You are the friend.
Xenos is a voidsent. Didn't you fade away when Xenos fell?
Xenos? The disgraced prince you yourself laid low?
I see it now. The bottomless darkness. The insatiable hunger. The aura was present when we faced him in Garlemald. When Xenos died, its connection to the source was severed. It was forced to return to the void.
Xenos. Yes, that was his name. And you are the friend, are you not?
Crystal of light.
Is that Heidelin's crystal?
But how? The light just now, of course. And thus I am returned.
What do you mean, returned? Who are you?
I was once bound to the man named Xenos. His avatar, until you killed him.
Avatar, as in the voidsent servants of Reapers. In the name of his hunt, Xenos took up that traditional Garlean art. And through it, he forged a covenant with a being of the void to lend him strength.
Covenant? A curse, more like. He stole my power. There was no equity in the arrangement. My very essence was altered, twisted into a tool to serve his desires.
Your previous appearance. This is your true form, then.
Perhaps, perhaps not. What does it matter?
Indeed, it doesn't. Regardless of your form, you are a voidsent by nature. So answer me this. Are you our enemy too?
In this world, only a fool would attempt to devour a stronger being. And though it was as an avatar, I lost to you once, I have no desire to lose again.
Good enough for me.
Now, you will answer me a question. Xenos called you friend. That's what you are? A friend?
Not to you, at least not yet.
So, you're not a friend. Then... what is it? What is a friend?
Okay. I assume the dungeon was reserved for those intended for the mistress's consumption. It is fortunate we came here when we did, fateful even. When I served Xenos, my mind was shrouded in haze, but one thing was always clear. His obsession with the friend. What the word means, I do not know exactly. I only know that it referred to you, and that yours was an important existence. Xenos' avatar, what are the odds? We still know little about her, but for now I'm glad we found someone who can do more than moan forever. It seems the clever one did for my fellow warden after all. I knew it was a better idea to go in the cell. As much as one might expect the unexpected, I doubt any of us could have foreseen this turn of events. She seems different from the other voidsent, at least those we met. And the change we witnessed, I suspect, is due to her crystal purging the excess darkness in her. Even so, she still harbors a great deal of darkness. I'm very keen to hear what she can tell us. About herself and about her world. While the language of this world is similar to ours, it is a covenant with Xenos that should ensure we can understand one another. The magic of summoning voidsent also facilitates communication, you see? Without this component, a mage would struggle to make his mind known to a servant. Where everything begins. So I doubt you came to the dungeon by pure chance? What is it that you're after? We were looking for a voidsent with whom you could converse, in the course of which we learned of you. We are visitors to this world and know little and less of its workings and ways. We would be grateful if you could tell us about it, about yourself. So it's information you seek. What do you offer for it? I beg your pardon? Voidsent do not give unless we stand to gain. If you desire something, you pay the price. That's the sole rule in this world you call the void. That makes sense. Pray forgive my ignorance. But what would be acceptable as payment? I suspect such coin as we carry has no value here. Voidsent crave one thing alone. Ether. In return for information, I offer you mine. Just not all of it, mind you. I still have need of my life. Very well, I will tell you no more than you can afford to pay. Then we have a bargain. If you're to talk about the void, let us do sort this out. Come with me. You needn't worry for me. My life was a small price to pay for knowledge. I will recover it quickly enough once we've returned home. We cannot allow each dollar to bear the burden alone. The next the opportunity arises, I will offer my own effort. Their one rule is not different from that of many in our world. It's those like Alphen who are a rare breed.
This is where I belong. My home. This endless darkness you call the void. There was once light here, and it shone its warmth upon creation. The lands were green and the seas were blue. Life flourished. Before the war, the Contra Memoria.
It must have been a terrible war indeed.
It shattered the balance, causing darkness to engulf the world. All life was transformed into monstrosities, voidsent. We are the natural order now.
As light begat sin-eaters, darkness begat voidsent.
The sun was driven from the sky as fleeting day yielded to endless night. In time, even land and sea lost their distinction. And though the spark of reason had died in us, driven by memory's shadow, we formed factions and carved out domains. This castle, for instance, its erstwhile lord must have abided in such a place once upon a time.
If I may, the darkness in you is too much for any man to harbor. To my eyes, you are indeed a voidsent. Yet your knowledge of the past and your demeanor mark you apart from your brethren. You are different. That much is plain. But in what way, I am unsure.
As you say, I am voidsent, but only in part.
In part?
The darkness touched my mother when the war had only just begun, when I was still in the womb. As a child, I looked like any other, but darkness coursed through me, and I ceased to age when I'd become a woman grown. But that was then. And now, I may as well be one in full. I prey on the weak and serve the strong. I live to survive. Nothing more.
Forgive me. 'Twas not my intent to pry. I realize, too, that I've neglected to ask your name.
As we say mortal, you may call me voidsent.
That is liable to cause confusion. If you are not averse, we would address you by your true name.
And call me what you will. I care not.
How about 0?
Meaning nothing. A name as fitting as any.
No, not nothing, but rather a beginning. For it remains to be seen what you will become to us.
As I said, I care not. 0, then.
Here's to a fruitful partnership.
Partnership? Are you saying you wish to strike a bargain?
Well, Zero, while there is no end to the questions we could ask, it is only fair that we tell you our purpose in coming here. We are searching for a dragon. One who came to your world long ago.
A dragon?
Yes. Ashdaya is her name, and she is my sister. If you have any knowledge of her, I beg you share it with us.
What's that up there? The purple cloud?
Did you say something?
No?
I thought I heard a voice as well. The keening of voidsent, perhaps.
No one else seems to be nearby. Perhaps it was just a trick of the wind. If not as out of the ordinary, I would like to hear more from Zero. I can't imagine there are many part voidsent like her who remember the world as it was. We may have subdued the voidsent here, but I doubt they remain that way. Remain vigilant. Beginning. A curious notion in a world where all has come to an end. I must say, we are rather exposed here. Perhaps we should continue the conversation within the castle? The throne room is defensible, given its few points of ingress. Let us head back there. Moving wasn't part of the bargain. I'll comply, but I expect my payment promptly. You shall have it as soon as we've arrived. Apparently we're fighting something. I will see to the payment and then we may ask Zero what she knows about Ashdaya. All appears unchanged here. I feel eyes on us. Stay alert. Upon proceeding, several cutscenes will play in sequence. Bring them enough time. Also battle.
This place is as good as any. Let me have the ether now.
Very well.
You're mine! That I should miss my mark.
That fiend again? But we struck it down. Watched it die.
Fools. Death doesn't exist in this world. And I am free to return whensoever I please.
Death doesn't exist. Of course, in the first, the power of light, of passivity, prevents life from emerging in the empty. But in the 13th, the power of darkness, of activity, prevents life from finding rest, even should soul be separated from flesh.
So unless one's essence is absorbed by another, it is possible to return again and again.
Your ether. It reminiscent of that creature's. Ah, my mouth waters at the memory.
What?
I must devour you too. Yes, I must. Ye drifting souls, by my power be reborn!
If it's another death they want, I say we give it to them.
If you could lend us a hand, we'd be much obliged.
That you would. But you already owe me a debt, and until you make good on it, I won't lift a finger. We'll speak after you've won. But know that if you lose, I'll help myself to your ether.
That a bothersome duty should deliver to me this lavish feast. Come, struggle with all your might. It will make you that much richer and tastier.
Yeah, Scamillionaire was a boss in Final Fantasy IV originally. And his gimmick was that he came back from the dead. Okay, let's do this. Ow.
Every soul in this domain serves me now. Come, feast upon their flesh.
The castle answers his call. We'd do well to break up this feast quickly.
Then let's see these guests on their way.
Behold the power of the Archfiend of Earth!
He means to resurrect them again. Let them come. Troublesome foe.
He hastens their regeneration.
We are deathless! You cannot defeat that which cannot die! Struggle and slaughter all you like.
This bodes ill.
Our foe has too great an advantage.
We need to drag him out of this damnable feast. Quickly, stand together!
There's no end in sight. A retreat may be in order.
When will you learn? No matter what you do, you cannot hope to win.
You never know until you try, and I'm always happy to experiment.
Zero! Is there no way to stop them from coming back?
There is, but I have no reason to share it with you.
You know, Zero, you do owe us for one thing. Your name. You'll have your promised ether, but we are owed compensation for your name.
A name for which I did not ask. But that I nevertheless did accept.
Crystals?
They've been crystallized.
Well now, that's quite the trick.
Satisfied?
Completely.
Come, my friends. With Zero's aid, we can defeat him.
What is this? What have you done?
Now that I think on it, you owe me a debt as well. You may have missed your mark, but I won't miss mine.
Yay, Zero! Defeat Scarmiglione.
However incurred, a debt is a debt. I will repay it here and now.
She can turn voidsent into crystal.
What is this power?
You will tremble before my truth, strength.
Attend to the minions first.
Man, let me! They're not selectable!
Be gone!
More servants!
That's far enough! Got you!
Trickery will not save.
Reinforcements!
This will hurt.
Impressive.
Pathetic. Useless. Enough. Enough!
We cannot win without Zero. We must help her.
Another debt to repay.
If I must deal with you first, I'll kill you all myself.
No, you won't.
Finally getting serious, are we? Very well. Let us return the favor.
This place will be your grave!
This magic! We must stop him now!
Everyone, to me!
Give it everything you've got!
Ah, he's stacking up. No, I cannot. I will not.
Fools! Do not think you have defeated me. I will return again and again! What? My flesh? Why won't it heal? What is the meaning of this? To seal ether in crystal. Memoria. But how? How can you have this power? Death has no place in this world. We are beyond it. And yet... Ah, Lord Golbez, you have sent me to my doom. Curse you and your wretched flattery, and this abominable fate.
Echo.
You are welcome, seekers of might. I, Golbez, have called you four hither. I, who would see us triumph in the coming crusade. That I may entrust you with command of our armies.
Yes, but what of the promised gift? In exchange for our loyalty, we are to feast on the finest ether.
And so you shall, for if you are to serve me, you must be strong.
Then honor the pact, and pray we are not disappointed.
Very well. Behold.
The fiery wings, the savage horns. It pulses with life. Such vibrant ether. This magnificent creature could only come from beyond the veil.
Indeed. Feast, my friends. Feast and arise as my four arch-fiends. As they are now, they can consume but a fraction of the dragon's ether. Just as well, the creature may yet serve other ends.
Are you all right?
I am.
The voidsent's essence remains, but it has been sealed away, transformed into crystal.
Memoria. Scamleone called them. I take it they are connected to the war of which you spoke.
Aye. Their use was central to the Contra Memoria, hence its name. And to my knowledge, the transformation is permanent.
I see. We thank you for coming to our aid.
I repaid a debt, and in doing so ensured that I receive my own due compensation, which I shall have now.
Yes, yes. I still have work to do, so I would thank you not to get carried away.
Let's try this again. Hopefully without interruption.
Ether is the coin of choice. I appreciate the simplicity.
That makes us even, I trust. Right then. When you picked up the crystal, you experienced a vision, did you not?
Indeed. Apparently the master of Scamleone, this Golbez, has a Steyr.
A dragon resembling a great worm. I dare to hope that it was Ashdaya. even as it pains me to think she's been made to suffer.
For the ambitions of this Golbez.
We've been given much to consider. Let us take a moment to review what we know.
If Golbez has Ashtaya at his mercy, then we must find him. Hopefully Zero has knowledge that will aid us in our search. We vanquished one of Golbez's archfiends, but three remain. As troublesome as this one, I expect. There's nothing like the air of a living mortal. I haven't felt so satisfied since my return. In light of our recent experiences, I expect we all have questions. I trust Zero can answer some few of them. We should still be owed at least that much, I dare say. Good, but I end this episode here and we see about these questions next time, I think. And then, amaze and don't get lost.